This is the interpersonal skills video for Alexandra Schafer for Speech 120. We're going to be talking about the importance of a college degree. So, what is your opinion on getting a college degree?
What's my personal opinion?
Yes.
Well, I think, I would say in the economy and what's out there right now, that it seems like to get a good job, you're required to get a degree. I've kind of torn between that a little bit because I feel like you got kids that are spending so much money on these degrees, especially early on, and they don't know what they really want to do. And the cost of education is so expensive when really I feel like you get your best learning in the job. And, not that people shouldn't always be learning, but, and I think there are college courses where, okay, you learn skills, but to put it all together for a degree, unless it's maybe something very specialized, but just in general, I don't know. I feel like it's a little overrated, and sometimes I feel like it's just a piece of paper where, and I see, people come out of college all the time where they've got all this learning and these degrees, and they can't even function in a workplace, even in the simplest forms. I'm a little torn between that.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, and if I'm not, correct me, you think that there is not as much value in a college degree as people are placing in it. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess it depends on what it is. If you're looking for something that's extremely specialized, like someone's going to be a doctor or whatever, but I still feel like on the job and learning and being exposed to real life situations and experiences and interacting with people in real life, in real life problem solving is the best. And it's unfortunate that I feel like businesses don't look for those types of skills, or schools don't teach people how to sell themselves in a way where they can say, hey, I've problem solved and this is what I created out of this to sell themselves in that way.
So I guess I would disagree with you because in my personal experience, I was hired knowing that I would later get a degree in my field, and I probably wouldn't have been given the same opportunity had I not been going to school based on other employees in my same shoes. So in my case, it would be valuable. So you compare two people that have the same qualifications, the same skill set, one's going to school and one's not. Obviously, you're going to choose the one that's going to school. So then what happens in that scenario? Do you hire both of them and see who performs better and then just, oops, you're going away once the other has outperformed you?
I think your situation is a little bit different because you're not just going off to school to go to school. And it's the thing to do for teenagers to go off, and then school becomes a place just to get away from home and party. I think your situation's a little bit different. You have, hey, I want to work, and so you are going to school in conjunction with working. So I think at least at this point you're getting some skills. At the same time, you're getting work skills and you're getting learning skills. And look, you've already changed your major 2 or 3 times, right? So if that doesn't kind of at least prove the point that you start off on a path and you spend money and it really isn't what you wanted, so you kind of turned your path a little bit different, thinking, hey, I've got a little bit of exposure. Oh, but that really, once you got into it, that's a little bit more than what I expected. And luckily you changed again before you had too much money in that.
So as a manager, and looking at hiring 2 individuals who have the same skill sets, one is going to school, one isn't, and you can only choose one, which one would you pick?
One is going. Where I think you're not hearing my point is, I'm not against going to school. I think, to me, I just feel like the degree is a little overrated.
Right, but wouldn't you say that it qualifies you better for a position? That it gives you one up than the other person who didn't go to school?
So I am a manager and a leader, and I have hired people that don't have degrees, and I've hired people that have all the way up to master's degrees. So yes, in business nowadays, the business is saying that that yes, we should be looking at that. My experience has shown that some of the more qualified people are those that, yes, I want to learn and I'm not there yet. I will continue to learn, maybe continue to take classes, but they have more life experience. And I don't say it's in all cases, but I'm just saying in general, I think that it's overrated for young people to even be able to get a job.
So you're saying that you suggest, and for advice to those who are going to school, to try working before actually committing to getting a degree? Or, I mean, in my case, I decided, okay, I'm going to get a job and I'm going to try and use them to my advantage to pay for school. Since I've been taught that a degree is not necessarily going to put you at a higher place in life. You know, it's what you can do that's going to make you progress. So I went in with that mentality and it worked in my favor. I got the job and they ended up paying for school. So here, me going to school is not a pitfall to me. It's actually in my best interest that I take advantage of them paying for my school. But for someone who doesn't have that advantage, I mean, would you suggest they try and go to school and get exposure to get the degree? Because they may not have time to get the experience working. And, you know, they may not ever get the opportunity to figure out what they actually want to do. Or would you suggest they try working and then go to school?
I think if someone right out of high school, if they really aren't sure what they want to do, I think it benefits any young person to get a job of some sort. Unless they know I want to go in this specialized field, I have my mind up and they've been progressing. And you've got students that start, they know a little bit more in their high school days. They know they're on track, they are around life. But you've got most people, they really don't know. They're so young. And if you're able to, hey, work a little bit and go to school a little bit, and I'm not saying degrees are bad. I just feel like businesses put too much emphasis on the degree to get a job when you've got a lot of qualified people out there that don't have one, or maybe they're working toward one and taking classes to learn, and they're not getting it. So, for example, I look at some people that I know that maybe in their late 50s or 60s, and they're very technology driven in their job. They've worked for a company for years and years, and maybe took learning stuff that was just to help them in their specific job. And they've learned skills from certain computer software. They've gone, they know the newest, let's say payroll systems, and they understand all that stuff. And companies merge and all that, and people lose their jobs, and not because of performance, it's just the way it is. And then so someone that's 55 to 60 years old out looking for a job has great job skills and great job experience, but because they don't have a degree, they're not even looked at. And so you get someone, they hire someone that is just out of school, and maybe they have some great opportunity, but they don't even have job experience at all. And I think they should have opportunities, but when you're looking at skills, it's unfortunate that the workplace is putting more value on the degree than someone that has the skills to fit into that job.
So, say there's somebody who decided that, okay, I don't see that much value in a degree to spend thousands and thousands of dollars and invest in so much lifelong debt that they're going to have to pay off. What skills should they focus on obtaining at an early age in order to prove themselves without the degree?
To me, I think our whole society and young people coming in, they're not getting as much exposure to problem solving and critical thinking. And I don't even think school gives those opportunities. So if someone that comes out of school with their bachelor's degree at 22 years old, more and more for the competitive environment that we have, we need people to think outside the box. Now, I've seen young people that are like that. Hey, they've had exposure to critical thinking, but in general, what I've seen is they don't have those types of skills. So if there's any way to get those, and it's not through a book. You can't get critical thinking through a book. You really have to have life experiences. You have to have had things that you've had to work through in your own life, and I don't want you to think that I don't think a degree is important, because I do think a degree is valuable. It's just unfortunate that there's so much value put on a degree.
So, if I heard you correctly, you said that you don't think that you can get specific job skills in school, right?
Yeah.
So that being said, what are your feelings towards high school programs that do on the job experience teaching? Like, for example, the career schools that allow for college credit where you're actually at the company learning what they learned but also getting college credit for it. I mean, what is your take on that? Do you think that they're actually getting real experience there, or it's just an opportunity for college credit?
I think it's a great opportunity to get exposed to different job fields, and to touch on some interests. So they may have a path, I think computer programming seems fun, and wow, that seems really cool. And there's, maybe a lot of money that's out there. And someone gets in there and maybe their strengths aren't aligned with that type of job field. I think it gives young people exposure. Well, maybe this does have some interest for me. And good career centers for students will also let them understand from the industry, expose them to the industry, expose them maybe to school, colleges where they've learned. Because I know I've seen some programs that have, and I've seen some programs that don't. It's just within the classroom only. But I do think those high school programs for the older high school students, to expose them to job related functions and getting them in there, I think that does give them the opportunity to understand the fields, start applying maybe some critical thinking to real life experiences on the job. I think those are awesome.
Well, great. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your discussion. I think I have a better understanding of what it means as a professional business to actually get a degree. What are the disadvantages and advantages? So, thank you.
Thanks.